So I don't really think that you're like, it's not that you're lazy. I don't think being lazy is your actual problem. I think that you're just out of alignment and you forgot who the hell you're building. Guys, in this video, I want to teach you how to break the habit of being yourself, and I want to teach you guys some mindset shifts that you can adopt to transform. Okay, your results in life are a result of your identity, who you think you are. And most people, they don't move on in life not because of who they think they are, but it's because of who they think that they're not, right? Like, how many times have you guys said that that's not for me, and you went the other direction? So that's what we're going to talk about in this video, and I'm going to drop some perspectives, some knowledge in you guys, and my goal for this video is by the end of it, you'll have a strategy that will help you transform you and break the habit of being yourself, okay? Now, as I kick this off, you might say, like, hey, like, how are you credible to teach me about this? Well, I was a quitter in life. I grew up in a town of 300 people. I wanted to win when I was a kid. I failed and I gave up. I quit. I wanted to be an athlete. That was my dream, like a lot of guys. But I quit on myself after that. And then I was in a community college, and then I ended up dropping out. I joined the military, and I went from the bottom 1% in the military to the top 1%. And I went on and I became an infantry commander. I had 130 soldiers underneath my leadership when I left the military. And I ran 100 miles in the Rockies with no train up. I mean, I was athletic, but I had no training plan in place to run that 100 miles. I had accumulated some mileage over the summer, but point is that when I first came into the military, I had a hard time running 2 miles. I think my 2 mile time was like 15 minutes or something like that, and I was a half-asser. I remember in basic training, they showed up. They shaved our heads. They gave us the Screaming Eagle haircut, and they had us go out and do a 2 mile assessment. And I remember on that 2 mile assessment, I did not want to give my best because I was worried that they were going to put me into a higher ability group, because that's how they did it in basic. They said that if you performed well, they were going to no matter how you performed, they were going to group you up with other like-minded people. And at this point, I had an athletic background in high school, so when I ran, I never really ran more than like the 2 miles. Like, when I was in wrestling, I never paid attention to how far we ran, but in my mind, like, running 2 miles hard was like, it usually gave me so much anxiety to do that, performance anxiety, and I was worried about failing. And so anyways, I go to basic training and I go do this 2 mile run, this assessment, and I literally slowed down so I wouldn't run too fast to get put into a group that would run fast because I was a half-asser. That was my mentality when I first went to training. And then I turned that around and I started getting competitive and I started winning, and I went from enlisted, the bottom 1%, to infantry officer, special operations in the 75th Ranger Regiment, and then infantry commander, and then I ran 100 miles. So this is where this comes from, is like, and then today, I coach, and I do leadership coaching, executive coaching for leaders, high achievers. And so there's been a big transformation in my life, going from that little town of 300 people to where I'm at today. And none of it happened by accident, actually. You see some of these people online. You guys might see these people online. You're like, how did these guys change? Like, how did these guys become successful? How many of you guys know people from your hometown that they live the same 5 years, the same 10 years, the same year over and over and over again, and they haven't changed? Matter of fact, maybe they even got worse. They're still going to the same pubs, the same bars. They're still telling the same stories, and it's like really sad, man. It's really sad. But then there's these select few individuals in life that move on. They don't just go out and achieve some success, but they keep going. They keep climbing, and the next time you see them, you're like, dude, you're totally different. And that there's people that go and they change themselves. There's people that are on the path in life and they stay they stay stuck. And then there's the people that go and they get successful. And then there's the people that become successful, then they keep going. And inside of that keep going population, that group, Some of those guys know exactly what they're doing. Some of those guys know exactly how to transform. Others are just unconscious competence. They're basically just focused so much on where they want to go that they transform naturally. They're not really being intentional. Like, I think like Musk is like that. Elon Musk, I don't think he really like had to, he's very bright obviously, but I don't think he had to intentionally transform himself to become who he is. Jeremiah Sullivan, I had to transform. I had to change myself to become who I am today, to get online, to serve at the highest levels in the military and the army, and to open my business and be successful at it. So, and fuck, you guys have seen the Lamborghini, the cars and stuff. Like, it just, the point is that personal transformation can be a skill. And for me, I had to learn how to transform. And some key things that are important when it comes to your transformation. You guys have all done this already. You just didn't know what you were doing when you did it. So when you transform, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to shuffle around and pick an identity. That's the first thing. When you went into high school, like, you kind of got stressed out and you try to figure out what cliques you're going to be a part of. So you're an adult now. You can still decide what type of cliques you want to be a part of, who you want to become. You can still invent yourself. And it starts with that. It starts with getting pissed off that you don't like your results in your life. Like, if you don't like your results, you have to change who you are. If you don't like your results, you have to change who you are. Write that shit down, because your results are a reflection of who you are. If you are in a W-2 job and you don't like your job, you want to become a business owner, you have to change who you think you are, your identity. For me, when I got out of the military, I had to change my identity. I had to become an entrepreneur. So the whole thing is that transformation starts with getting clear about who you believe you are on the inside. Now, a lot of people think that transformation is about changing you, and it's really not. It's actually about evolving the best parts of you. I truly believe that, when you tap into who you believe that you are in your core and who you want to be, you're tapping in to the perfection that's inside of you. So for me, when I learned that I wanted to be an operator, that was very inspiring. And it didn't take any work for me to really go down that path, because I was so inspired to become that individual. So in your life, if you go inward, now a lot of people these days are conditioned to not dream. They get scared. They're conditioned to repress their dreams. Now, if you can work up the courage to figure out who you actually want to be in life, then you will be inspired to go actually after it. But you're gonna shuffle around between, you're gonna have this inner fight when you decide you want to change yourself, between who you want to be and who everybody else thinks that you are. And that's where a lot of people stay stuck in life. But the real ones, the ones that move on, they shatter that paradigm, they break through, and they just create their own lane. And that's what I've done. That's personally what I've done. And it's like, I'm not trying to toot my horn. I'm just saying that this is an area that I have applied over 10,000 probably hours into, and I want to pass it along with you guys, what I've learned by going through this step by step and using myself as a guinea pig to completely change. So I believe you have to get clear, you have to go inward, and you have to figure out who you want to be. And you can always change who you want to be as you go. It's like an ice sculpture. You start chipping away and you're building something. Or a painting. You're painting the next version of you, and you're going to go through and you're going to paint some more and paint some more. The more experience you get, you're going to tweak and modify things and course correct. And so, but the main thing is you make a committed decision around who you want to be next in the next chapter of your life. If you guys notice, I went out and got a haircut. It's because I'm going through this evolutional process, this transformational process once again. I want to see myself in the mirror a certain way, and I want it to match what's inside of me, the vision that I have for myself. I also went through my closet and I went and got rid of a bunch of clothes, and then I organized my dresser the way that my 10.0 self, my best self, would do it. So I went through and I threw out anything that I wouldn't believe that I would wear as my ideal self. That you guys can go do that. And you might say, oh, I don't know where, I'm worried about not being able to replace it. Well, my mentality has always been, well, my best self is going to figure out a way to replace it. So why would I keep this if I don't believe that I'm going to change into that best self? Okay, let me get rid of it. My best self is going to show up and replace this stuff. So you have to create a vacuum in your life for what you want. So for me personally, what I've had to do is I've had to remove the things in my life that no longer are serving me, that no longer serve and are congruent with the identity that I'm building. And then I went even more into detail, and it wasn't just getting rid of the clothes. It was like, okay, now what is my ideal self? How does he organize his dresser drawers? This is the level of detail that you have to go into. Personally, this is what I believe. And I was like, well, I think this vision came to me, and like, he's gonna have his clothes in a line of 3. There's gonna be 3 shirts. There's gonna be 3 stacks of shirts in this drawer, 3 stacks of shorts in this drawer, 3 stacks of pants in this drawer. And I went through and I put everything into 3s. And then I called my wife to come in. I said, hey, check this out. I was like, this looks kind of crazy, but I feel like this fits the future, the best version of me. I put it all into 3s. But the point here is not for you to go and put your dresser into 3s. The point here is to teach you how to intentionally think about aligning the outer world with what's in the inner world. That's really what I want you guys to do. If you want to change who you believe you are, you have to start by creating that vision, creating the identity, and then audit your entire day by going through and aligning the simple things that you do with the best version of you. And I'll tell you, the best version of you wakes up at a very specific time. The best version of you has a routine when they wake up, is very disciplined with that routine. The best version of you is very controlled in the way that they eat. The best version of you is not over gluttonous. The best version of you is disciplined, has a disciplined lifestyle, not just disciplined in the gym. That's a big difference. A lot of people are disciplined because they go to the gym and they wake up at a specific time. But a real disciplined lifestyle means that you actually go through your entire day living disciplined. Like when temptation strikes you and you're in a marriage, you put the blinders on. You don't even see that shit anymore. You're living a disciplined life. Now listen, I'm not sitting here and saying that I'm perfect at this. I'm just trying to articulate the level of discipline that exists in the world. There's being disciplined in an area, and then there's living a disciplined lifestyle. So you have to really decide though what the best version of you, how they live their lifestyle. And most of the time, it's not necessarily that you have to start doing things, it's that you need to let go of a lot of shit. If you guys got rid of the people in your life that are no longer in alignment with the best version of you, if you got rid of the habits that are no longer aligned with the best version of you, if you did those 2 things, you would see so much change in your life. But the problem is that most people do not have the courage, they don't have the strength, they don't have the will or the determination to cut those things out of their life. And so they will stay stuck and they'll fight that inner world of wanting to become somebody else, but feeling trapped in who they currently are and where the results are. So the best thing that you guys can do, if you do not have the courage to break free of the habits that you have in your life, the relationships that you have, and the jobs that you have, the things in your life that you're addicted to, because you're addicted to these things, you need to start building up internal strength with personal development. You can download the Discipline Advantage down here, and I put in this YouTube video. I had somebody sign up for my program this last week for my high performance and leadership coaching, which is on Tuesdays. And they went through my videos. They said, man, all your stuff is really working for me. I even used the Discipline Advantage. It's working for me as well. I want to take things to the next level. And that's what I ask for you guys. I want you guys to go through, use the material, and implement what is actually working, build yourself up. And when you're ready, we'll take the next step. If you're ready now, jump in. Get on the Discipline Advantage if you're not already, or DM me on Instagram and tell me that you're ready for coaching. You're ready for mindset or leadership or high performance coaching. I'll help you with get the body. I'll help you get the life. I'll help you improve your work or your business. But you have to be ready to invest in yourself. Okay, you guys that aren't ready to invest in yourself, don't DM me. Do not do that. Work on the material. Prove to yourself that you're a person that can execute. Now, for you guys that are on the fence, maybe you're like a multiple 6 or 7 figure entrepreneur and you're ready for that next step. Stop hesitating. Reach out. Be decisive, because the best version of you is decisive. But last thing here, when we close up for personal transformation, is when you decide to transform, you want to get rid of the things that are holding you back, align everything in your life to that perfect version of you inside of your mind. And then when you go through your day, every hour, every 30 minutes, you can set this up in different ways, but you want to constantly, as you go through your day, check in with who you're acting as. You want to go just like you would in like on your map, like you're driving your car, going to somewhere on the GPS, you check, you look, am I on track? Am I off track? You need to do that with your day to make sure that you're actually showing up as the ideal version of you. Now, some people might say, well, this is fake. No, it's not fake. You're actually just carving out, because your vision is tied to the perfection that's inside of you. So you're actually becoming what's inside of you and not what you believe is outside of you. So you're actually, for the first time, becoming what's true to you. And when you do this, when you actually operate from a place of truth, your whole life will fall apart. It will, because you are living a lie. You are living a lie right now, and because you're living up to everybody else's expectations, you're not following what's actually inside of your heart, and you're not being who you actually are inside of you. So you're living a lie. So maybe you're feeling lazy lately. Maybe you're feeling complacent. Maybe you're feeling like you're not showing up as the person that you know you could be. You're in your 40s, you're in your 30s, you're in your 50s. You're playing video games. You're smoking weed. You're being late. You have money in the bank, but you're not actually showing up. It's because you forgot to build the man. You forgot to build the leader. You forgot to align, not your success. You forgot to stop chasing success and start chasing the best version of you. Longer video today, guys. I had to break this down for you. I hope you found it valuable. I would love to see you guys in the next video. Make sure you share this with a friend. If you have another friend that's into personal development, send this on over to them, and let's bring some more people to the page. All right, guys. I love you all. Until next time, conquer all.